live struggle legacy. It's a whole movement.
I got you, big baby. I keep the struggle live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. We break it out, live struggle, live music. Pay attention to how we do it. And so my dog who never made it out. Live struggle, I got you, homie. The things we do when we down on our luck, like a dolphin, anything to get fucked up. What you think? Now we out here trying to get locked up. Desperation brings desperate measures trying to come up.
Hey everybody, it's your boy MP, Live Struggle Legacy, and welcome to the Live Struggle Legacy Podcast, Season 3. Now, real quick, if you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, hit that notification button, start a conversation, drop a comment. If you're listening on a streaming platform, please make sure you hit that follow button, download, save, rate us. And if you're looking to promote your business, holler at me because we're looking for sponsors. Okay. I've been waiting on this guest for
that was nice.
a long time. I've been waiting on this guest for a while. But none other than, let me introduce. So this is no sugarcoat, no bullshit, right?
Okay.
I'm 100. One of my favorite DJs on the planet right here. I'm not exaggerating. DJ Donnie Luv, y'all. DJ Donnie Luv, right? So this podcast is all about giving people their flowers, right? So that's what I want to do on this show is give you your flowers. But of course, I don't want to do. I talk a lot, right? I don't want to talk a lot this episode.
Yeah, you don't want to talk a lot.
I want to hear your story, right? And I believe this audience, because these are my people right here. So if I say that Donnie Luv is one of my favorite all-time DJs, you know what I mean, in the world, they gonna want to know more about you.
Say less,
right? So, real quick, I want to just tell a story about how we met and why you're one of my all-time favorite DJs, right?
Okay.
We met at Bottomville Studios, right? Shout out to Bottomville, shout out Jada and all the homies. And I don't remember what event it was, but it was like one of those. It was an early event. It was an early event, and they were doing showcases. And I've talked about this on the podcast before because what I love about Bottomville is like we bridge the gap, literally. Right? We bridge the gap, right? And I always been about that, right? I'm a little older than y'all, you know what I mean? So, but like I've been, the music is timeless, right? The energy is timeless, right? There's no age. It's an energy.
I almost feel like by the time we met you, I think you came around when Slug Sounds, when we first started really getting off the ground and started throwing the events in the area. Because did you perform?
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's why I was walking with you. Okay. So this is my first time meeting. I know she's probably like, who is this dude? Like looking like a middle-aged dude, like a little deficient in the, you know what I mean? And so, but when that music dropped, and I fucked up in the beginning. So I did 100 bars. Right to the Kanye West Monster joint, right? And that's a hard beat to catch. And I fucked it up, and I know you're probably like, oh, this 40-year-old motherfucker. But when I caught the beat, next thing you know, I could feel the energy, and I heard you hyping it up, and that's the thing. Like, and the one thing that you did for me, you made sure I got my mic right. I had like a lightweight debate with a guest on here about how like. She was almost trying to tell me, and no disrespect, it is what it is. We don't have to see eye to eye, we get along, right? But she was basically trying to tell me that if I'm asking a DJ or a sound person to get my sound right, like I'm doing too much, right? And I got to earn that type shit. And it's like, well, if I got to earn that, and I'm 40 years old, and I've been doing this shit since I was 12, I believe I earned that, right? But here's the thing. It wasn't even nothing. You like, no problem. You got that sound right? Right? You got my, you know what I mean? Like, and so, and that's the whole thing. Like, you never met me before in your life.
Bro, I give a lot of fucks.
Man, that's the thing. People are so fresh out of fucks, right? And it's disheartening because I never run out of fucks. Like, how could you know what I'm saying? Like, I really don't. I really don't. And I appreciate you saying that because that's like the constant theme. Like, I'm fresh out of fucks again. You know what I mean? Like, What's Strizzo say? Oh, Rusty in the basement. That's an ongoing thing. We had Strizzo on the show, and he talked about those people that always have something to say, but like aren't really doing a whole lot. Yeah. We call him Rusty in the basement.
Oh, say less.
You know what I mean? But yeah, no, you gave all the fucks, and it wasn't just for me. Like it was everybody there. But I know when I really was like probably midway through them 100 bars. I mean, you were hype. I mean, you were doing what the DJ do. You know, and I just love that. You know, and every single artist that came on there, you presented them in a way like they were the main attraction. You know what I mean? And that speaks volume on like your character, and you make it all about the music. Like in this day and age, no disrespect to any DJs out there, but like DJs are a dime a dozen, right? And I know you really DJ. I know you use vinyl and all that. And I'm not one of those people to say, oh, if you don't use vinyl, you don't know turntables, you're not a DJ. Well, in my opinion, a real true DJ is all about the music, and a real true DJ breaks artists. That's what they do. They introduce the people to. It's not just about giving the people necessarily what they want. It's about breaking new music, right? And celebrating.
And it's also about one underrated part of DJing is your connection with people. Me giving a fuck, I give a fuck about the room having a good time. I get a lot of times people are like, yo, I see you DJing all type of spaces. 1 minute you playing house music, next you playing trap and R&B, next you over here playing, you know, drum and bass, whatever. But one compliment that I always get that I take pride in is like, yo, you read a room. Yes. So with an event like that, okay, this is an artist showcase. Artists are already a bit timid, shy. It was a bit more intimate, so people are right in your face. You know what I mean? Watching you say every single word. And one of the best things, one of my favorite DJs, I believe I got this from Jazzy Jeff, but it's like, whether it's 10 people in the room or 10,000 in the room, I'm going to DJ the same way.
Damn right. See, that's why you're my favorite DJ. I'm telling you right now. So, and I know this is maybe like, this is only like the third time I think we met in person. Yeah. Right? But I'll never forget the way you made me feel as an artist. The way you made me feel when I was in the crowd, right? Yeah. You know what I mean? Because like people will never forget what you said, but they always remember how you made them feel. You know what I mean? Exactly. And like that's the whole thing. Like you made me want to come back. You know what I'm saying? To your shows. And then all I could think of is, because I haven't thrown an event in forever, but all I could think is when I throw an event, like I need to find Donnie Luv. Like you know what I mean? For real. So that's my first impression of you. And I always like to ask if like what your first impression of is live struggle MP the host. Like what? Yeah. Do you remember any of that? It's cool if you don't. Like
in the moment, I probably don't. It's crazy as we kept talking, because at first I'm like, I don't think I remember the event we met until you started talking more like, oh, you know, Bonneville's put together the showcase. And I'm like, yo, I think that was one of the open mic nights. And I do remember you performing. I do remember that. I didn't remember what exact beat you were performing over, but as we kept talking, I'm like, that was my real first introduction to you. That is the moment that stuck out.
So when I get ready to promote it, we're going to promote this later on. Like, it's going to be a little while. I got a bunch in the pipeline. But when I do, I'm going to make clips. Because you on there hype as a motherfucker. and I'm in there some spitting. You know what I mean? Like, and then you can be like, oh, that joint. I promise.
Say less. Yeah. Say less.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, let's just dive into it. Tell us about, who is... So first of all, real quick, previously you were known as
Don Rock.
Don Rock, okay.
And if you're a real day one fan, you know when I first started DJing, I went by I Rock. Okay. I went through a few different name changes, man. I had to kind of figure out what works for me, what stuck, and what actually felt like me. You know, as like real. Each name I kind of went through a different rebrand, and it was almost like the evolution of just rock, period. If you really know who I am. But once upon a time, yes, DJ Don Rock. It didn't really flow to me, but I really liked that name. And then I think it was just one late night I was listening to, I fell into a 70s space and just started listening to sounds I hadn't even heard yet. And then I kind of fell deeper in love with Stevie Wonder. Stevie Wonder has always been one of my day one favorite artists of all time. Yes. But as I started to dive deeper into his catalog, I just really fell in love, you know? So he really inspired me a lot, and that's what really inspired the name change. It was Donnie Luv and really Curtis Mayfield, which is why I brought that vinyl. Yeah. Actually, we put that out.
Yeah, show them. Yeah, this is what it's about. We're here to celebrate you and the music and the culture and everything in between.
So this vinyl right here, Superfly. First off, this is a soundtrack to a movie from the 70s.
I remember that movie.
Okay, there we go. Crazy cool little movie, but the soundtrack really stuck out to me, and Curtis Mayfield. And as I was like just diving into like this 70s space and I ran across this, first off, the way that the wording is on this vinyl, the way that bro is standing here, I have to actually send you my official logo. I had somebody recreate that for me, and that was the beginning of Donnie Luv.
Please do, because I want to use that in the phone.
Literally, that was the beginning of Donnie Luv. But yeah, we went through a few name changes. Donnie Luv is here to stay, but it went from I Rock, Don Rock to Donnie Luv.
Okay. So tell us about the early years of Donnie.
The early years of Donnie, man, it's crazy. I started DJing in 2013, and I actually had no interest beforehand of ever DJing. Initially, I wanted to be a singer, songwriter. One of my favorite artists of all time is Missy Elliott, and then just being able to witness Missy Elliott as a kid and as an adolescent, and just seeing her push the boundaries of what she represented in music. Like, you kind of got her face value as like a singer-songwriter, and then you're like, okay, no, you literally write songs with people. You're crafting melodies. The way that she would choreograph her videos, the way that she would design the videos, I'm like, yo, she's pushing the boundaries of music through, one space. So early on, I wanted to do everything that she did, and then as I kind of got into like my teens, I was like, yo, I really want to produce music, but for whatever reason, that felt very far-fetched. I kind of only underseen like a lot of making music from like a TV perspective, you know what I'm saying, especially growing up, MTV, BET. So I'm like, man, I don't got no money for that big ass board, and I don't got money for this and that. I don't even know how to get into music production. But it was actually, I think this was like my sophomore year in college, and I just was this was like the early stages of Instagram. Yeah. And I just happened to like kind of scroll past and found like the DJ hashtag and was like, well, what the fuck do DJs do? And as I just like really dived into that world, I was obsessed all summer 2013 about DJing. I mean, I'm downloading the apps, I'm watching crazy videos, and I remember getting, it was September of 2019, I got my financial aid, student loan money, and I went out and bought like $5,000 worth of gear.
Yeah.
I had no idea how to even play. I'm buying speakers, I got the laptop, the board.
That's how you know it's real though, when you put money in it.
And right? If I'm going to put money in it, I got to go hard to go home. Yeah, I knew if I would have got like a $200 board, it wouldn't have went far. You know what I mean? But if I'm spending racks on this, I kind of got to, and it was still even a journey, because it was moments, I mean, we're in 2025 now. I started 2013. That's 12 years ago. So
what'd you start with? I'm not a gearhead.
I started with, it's crazy. So at the time, the Pioneer SZ. Okay. No, it was not the Pioneer SZ. I think it was the Pioneer XS. I can't really remember, but this is when controllers really started to become popular. And it's crazy because when I first got the controller, I definitely had a lot of people this was around the energy. We're kind of feeling this energy now where people are feeling like that DJ fatigue. It was like, oh, everybody's a DJ. But at that time, too, people were also kind of murmuring that. Like, oh, now the controllers are out. You don't need the vinyl. You don't need the CDJs. Everybody's a DJ. But that controller lasted me. I think I paid about $1,200 for it. And, I did a lot with that.
Yeah. You got your money's worth.
Exactly. Exactly. But from there, it was just history. Like, after I invested all that money in that gear, like I said, I've been doing it since 2013. The first 3 or 4 years, man, I probably got booked like once a year, twice a year.
But didn't you have something big happen like shortly after you found that passion? Like, didn't you get a gig within like the first year? That was a pretty...
Not really. Okay. I'll be honest. My entire career is a testament of never give up. Yeah. Literally what I got tattooed on me. Things didn't happen overnight for me. Nothing happened overnight. Everything has been hard work, and also just noticing like certain spaces that I was like when I first started DJing, I'm DJing everywhere. I'm in strip clubs. I'm doing your birthday party. I'll do a concert. I'll do this. I just like really dove in like head first. And this is also my sophomore year in college. So by the time I graduated from college, I'm like, man, I don't even really want this piece of paper. I really want to do this DJ thing, but I was not going to like give up DJing. But it took me a little minute. I would say I didn't really start getting some real opportunities until about 2016, maybe 17.
Okay.
Yeah, like I definitely had my own waves like online. We'll talk about it, but Slug Sound started off from like a subgenre that I created. I called it slug music. So being from Florida, before I even say being from Florida, just being a fan of music and being a DJ, I've always been in love with DJ Screw.
Yeah.
I loved everything Texas had going on.
Yeah.
Exactly. So being from Florida, it's crazy because the further south you go, they like the music sped up. The further north you go, they like the music slowed down. And then Central Florida is like a good mix in between. So I started like slowing down tracks, but then I kind of found my own way to chop them. Like now in 2025, I can literally like duplicate what DJ Screw was doing on the tables.
That's dope.
Literally.
I want to hear some of that because I know you can slow down music, and I know that's what slow sounds
is. You got to.
Because I grew up on Florida music mainly, and West Coast because I was born in AZ. But I had a homeboy. He was actually from Dallas. And he came down and he was working at Maxi Mall back in well, first Anderson's Barbershop. Anderson's closed down and he was in Maxi Mall. He cut here and he was like the homie. He was like one of my best friend's cousins. So like he like family to me. And he always would put us on to the Swisher House.
That's what I'm talking to, the Swisher House.
DJ Mike Watts and this is the after Screw. So everybody was paying homage to Screw.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like Big Mo, too, like
and then just that, oh man, I could go off on like such a long tangent with that. Growing up, it's crazy. Growing up, my stepfather, his son is Devin the Dude.
Oh, and he's from the Berg, isn't he?
He's from the Berg.
And see, he don't.
And actually, no. Let me not lie and say he's from the Berg. I don't know if he's from the Berg.
But he's definitely got roots because I've been hearing that since I was like 12 years old. I've been a Devin fan.
He's definitely rooted here. His father lived here for a good amount of his life, but his father also came from Texas.
Okay.
You know, so I don't know if...
So maybe originally from Texas, but lived here.
Exactly. But always having that influence and seeing Rap-A-Lot records on the ground in real time. Yeah. You know, seeing Devin the Dude move, being able to see what Scarface was doing, seeing that, just that whole movement, all of that.
So you were like a kid.
I'm a kid.
That. See, but that was...
I'm a kid, not even really like, it's like I knew who Devin the Dude was, but I also didn't have, being that young, a real appreciation for who he was, because at this time, you know, if you ain't on TV or radio, I don't really, you know, until I started to really do my own research, get online and figure out things. But just being influenced by the whole chopped and screwed culture, how they was doing things in Texas, I wanted to figure out my own vibe to what we do here in Florida. So I'm like, okay, not saying we don't like chopped and screwed music, but most times it's just slowed down. So I was like, you know, versus calling it, you know, slowed down edits, I wanted to give it a name to where Florida could be like, okay, Texas got chopped and screwed, Florida got slugged. Yeah. We like it slugged. You know what I mean? Yeah. So even though... So
you coined that term.
I did.
That's dope. I love that. I ain't never heard it before. You know, and then it didn't make sense to me right away because I saw y'all were selling like stickers and stuff and they had this look on it. But then when I thought, oh, it's slow, like then it was like, you know, I'm a little slow. So the light bulb moment.
No, that's cool. But yeah, man. So even within those first 4 years, even though I didn't really get a lot of major outside opportunities, wasn't DJing as much, I was doing things online, and that was one of the things. Slug, you know, getting that influence from Texas and then like figuring out my own thing. But no, like I said, about around maybe 2016, 2017 is when I started to get real opportunities, really being outside DJing. And then 2019, it's crazy. I quit my job in 2019.
To be a full-time DJ?
Yes.
Well, that's something I was going to ask you too.
Yes, I quit my job in 2019 to be a full-time DJ. I was working a corporate job, making pretty decent money. Very unhappy, you know, the same starving artist type stuff. You know, but I was actually gaining a lot of traction DJing, and it started to become, I had to like make a decision after a certain point because it's like, all right, you know, I got to be to work by 8 a.m. I'm waking up at 7 a.m. I didn't even get home last night until 3:30 a.m. because I just DJed in the club. So as I started to pick up a few more events, it started to make a bit more sense, but it also still wasn't that smooth because I quit my job October of 2019. Pandemic hit us December of 2019, January 2020. So that was a whole like, whoa, you know what I mean? Yeah. I left my job at a very crazy time, but never give up vibes. You know what I mean?
Right.
Just figuring it out. And then the DJing I will say, once you really put an energy out into the world, you put supreme focus behind it and real intention, things will take off.
100%. 100%. Exactly. That's yes. You're speaking our language.
Yeah.
That's that frequency. You emit that frequency. We're all like antennas. You just got to tune in. Once you set that channel, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
And get rid of that static. Exactly. You know what I mean? And start to clear up that signal. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And really just, to know me, is to know that I'm an extremely passionate person. Like I said, I got a lot of fuck. I give a fuck.
Yes.
You know, there's certain moments where I might reserve a fuck to give, but for the most part, no, I really do care. But being a very passionate person, it was very important for me, even while being in college. Like, I just want to do something that feels good, but I also need to make money. Yeah. You know, I like to live a certain way. I like to do certain things, but I never wanted to hoard myself out for money. I never wanted to spread myself thin for money. Yeah. I just wanted it to all align. Yeah, and it's kind of dope that it, all finally did.
So what was it like? How did that feel? Because I'm sure it didn't feel like spectacular right away, right? Yeah. Tell us about that.
You gotta really just grind through. I mean, like I said, when I first quit my job, the pandemic had just came, so I'm literally doing Uber like crazy. Because while I also, at this time, I quit my job to DJ full time, I was going through a rebrand, going from Don Rock to Donnie Luv.
Okay. And
being extremely intentional in terms of like, okay, Donnie Luv is going to be in places and spaces that make sense to her, that make sense to her frequency, that things that fit. AKA, no, I'm not doing strip clubs right now. No, I'm not doing the hole in the wall club. Yeah, I'm gonna chill on certain things. So
you're trying to bring yourself.
Exactly. Yeah. So going through that, and then also going through the pandemic, it hit me like a ton of bricks in terms of like, oh, I'm doing Uber like crazy, and then gigs that did come up that make sense, I would say yes, and then just go as hard as I could with it. But it was definitely tough, and it still is tough.
But you know what? You're doing what you love, right?
I'm doing what I love.
And it doesn't feel like work, right? When you're doing what you love, even if you're working nonstop around the clock, right?
It's crazy. So many people come up to me and they're like, damn, you ain't at work right now? Or damn, you always at work. And I'm like, for one, I won't say it's not work. DJing full time is work. Yeah. It is work, especially when I'm doing certain events. Like I still do weddings, I still do corporate events. I still do all type of events. So and sometimes it definitely is work, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like work. Two, I also have crafted my schedule in a really cool way to where it's like it seems like I'm working all the time, but I just go hard Thursday through Sunday, sometimes Thursday through Monday. And then I have those other days off. But I'm always being told, like, yo, you are always at work.
Well, I mean, that's got to be a good feeling when you are doing what you love. That means people see you. And you're always working. Right? And when you're doing what you love, that means you're always working for yourself. Yeah. Right? That's different than going and working for somebody else.
I wouldn't trade it for the world.
No, yeah, exactly. Same. Right? I'm in a similar kind of situation, but this ain't about me. I want to know a little bit. I want to go back a little bit. Okay. Right? I know we're kind of jumping around. We're just, flowing. I want to know, because I know you didn't just develop like you said, your career didn't jump overnight. I know you didn't develop a passion for music overnight. So I know you talked about Missy influences, but like, when did you like really fall in love with music, or was that always kind of the case?
It's always been a thing. Okay. I mean, I come from a very music influenced family. Yeah. Grandmother loves music. My mom, oh my God, shout out to my mom. Yeah. My mom had the biggest influence on my ear. Yeah. My mom is the kind of person that, and it's crazy because I definitely relate to her, but she listens to music based off emotions. Mm-hmm. So I can clearly tell the mood she's in based off the music. Yeah. So growing up with someone that, I grew up in a genre-less household. We listened to it all.
Same. My mom was my way of music.
Literally listening to it all. And my mom also really loves music that has a message. You know, she kind of likes the music that's saying something. Once I got into my 20s, and I'm, this is around the time where Rolling Loud is taking off, the mumble rap scene is taking off. So it was times where it would be certain music that I'm listening to that she's like, I don't get what you like about Uzi Vert, but cool.
Yeah. My mom was the same way too. Like,
but cool.
Yeah. So if you fuck with it, she's gonna support it no matter
exactly.
what.
Well, she'll at least try to understand it. Okay, well, you really like it. But like, growing up with her, listening to all types of music. Like I said, as a kid, I literally wanted to be a singer. Yeah. I literally wanted to be a singer. It's really, I'm very fortunate that DJing is the space that I landed in, because just like Missy Elliott, I'm able to push the boundaries of what you think a DJ should or would do, and my hands are in a lot of spaces. So, for example, there's moments as a DJ where I'm asked to come into the studio with artists, because artists is like, yo, how does this melody sound? How does this chorus sound? Is there anything that I can add to this? Let me get your voice on that. That's another thing.
You got a great
I
got a good voice.
Shout out to moms again. My mom told me very early on, to know me is to know that I actually have a very big personality. So if I come around you very quiet, I'm just very reserved in that moment, analyzing everything, Virgo shit.
Yeah.
But if you really know me, you know I got a big personality. So it was my mom that told me, you know, you are an amazing DJ, but you gotta talk on that mic.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna really get too far unless you start talking on the mic. And I was like,
good for mom.
Yeah. The music speaks for me. But you know, your parents just see things, and just going back to saying, like, being able to push the boundaries of what a DJ can do. My voice has become an instrument that I never knew that I could really utilize, from being able to host events, hosting Isaiah Fall's performance at Rolling Loud. I didn't get, of course the tables got me into rooms to where somebody like Isaiah Falls could actually get to know me and see who I am, but my voice is what sold it. So it's sometimes where I get booked, like you said earlier, DJs come a dime a dozen these days, but there's certain things about the way that I DJ and what I do.
But not a Donnie Luv. Donnie Luv is not a dime a dozen.
It's not a dime a dozen.
No, that's like one of one. Period. Yeah.
But no, and that's something, just the way that I've crafted my skills and what I have to offer, that's something that I've also been extremely intentional with. Like, I got to a point with DJing where I said, to me, DJing, music, sports are kind of synonymous. I study a lot of sports, especially
I had a homie
basketball.
on the show say the exact same thing. He said basketball. I don't know if you remember that, but I had he's making waves too. But
yeah. But no, literally studying basketball and then just finding the similarities even in what it is that I do. So just being like, when I had a moment, I'm like, you know what? I want to selflessly give myself to the game of DJing. Yeah. So in this new era of DJing, you'll find a lot of DJs that really everybody wants their big moment. You want your viral moment, your K Tronada moment, your Joe K moment, whatever that moment looks like for you. But there's not enough DJs, like during the open mic performance we did, that's like, it's not about me right now, it's about y'all. I just want to add to what you got going on. I want to complement this. Or even being in certain spaces where I'm recognizing the law of the land and being like, okay, for example, a restaurant. Okay, you need a DJ, but actually you need live entertainment. You need somebody that's going to engage with the crowd, can give the crowd what they want while also putting the crowd onto new things. And then just truly being a role player with DJing. Like every scenario when I get invited onto any set, on any stage, I'm always looking at it like, okay, what can I do to complement and add to the moment? I'm going to always stand out like a sore thumb. So it's not even about like figuring out how to get spotlight or attention on me, but how can I just add to moments? Yeah,
and I see that. Like, how can I read the room and add value to this space? Like that.
Exactly.
See, and that's why I've done a lot of shows. Right? And I got a lot of homeboys that are DJs, homeboys that I really fuck with, right? Mm-hmm. And I've broken bread with quite a few DJs, right? Quite a few. You know what I mean? For my shows in the past, right? I haven't done a lot of shows lately, but way back when I used to do a lot of shows, right? And I used to break bread with DJs, and I would always, like whatever. But here's the thing. It was you didn't know me from a can of paint. I didn't pay you a dime. I just showed up to showcase, right? Yeah. And you showed me more love than any other DJ at any other show I've ever performed at ever. And I'm gonna look at that. I can look right in the camera and say that's a matter of fact. That's why I was so excited to bring you onto this show. Yeah. You know what I mean? And just eventually cook with you in some way, shape, or form. Because it's like that's the kind of energy. My energy a little bit different. You know what I mean? Like my personality is a little bit different. And so when you meet, and I didn't realize, when's your birthday?
September 22nd, man.
Okay, so on the 20th. Oh! So we gonna put a big Virgo power right here. Yes.
Okay.
So
Say less.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, it shows. It shows everything that you're saying is some people say, don't talk about it, be about it. That's the St. Pete thing. We've been saying that since. You know what I mean? But like you don't talk about, and then when I do see you talking, you're promoting others and you're promoting music, you're sharing things that you're passionate about. Like one thing that kind of turns me off with DJs, even like some of the homies occasionally, is like, it's like everything is look at me, I'm doing this, I did that. It's like, yeah, that's cool and we're happy for you. Right. It's like, but now we done lost sight of why we're here. You know what I'm saying? Like,
two things, man. Like I say, big sports head. So you're only as good as your last game. So I never. It's times that people literally come to me and it's like when I did the Rolling Loud thing, oh my God. Which that was oh my God. I remember being in the crowd of Rolling Loud, just hoping one day I can get on the stage, not even knowing how I was going to get there. So it was an oh my God moment, but I'm also not going to beat you in the head with my oh my God moments. Like, I'm already thinking about the next game. I'll bask in that moment, but then I'm already thinking about, you know, the next one.
Yeah.
Two, like I said, man, it's too many DJs, excuse me, especially with the power of social media. I love it, then I hate it.
I've been looking for a partner that feels like the right fit for this show. A brand that shares the same commitment to quality, comfort, and a better lifestyle. After a lot of research, I found exactly that in Cozy Earth. They create luxury bedding and pajamas made from 100% bamboo, naturally breathable, incredibly soft, and designed to keep you cool and comfortable all night long. It's the kind of product that elevates everyday life, which is exactly the type of brand I want to bring to this community. Cozy Earth also stands behind their products with a 10-year warranty on their premium bamboo bedding, plus free shipping on orders over $50. If you've been looking to upgrade your sleep and align with a brand that fits the values of this show, visit CozyEarth.com and use the code LSL for 40% off your order. That's CozyEarth.com, code LSL for 40% off.
But there's just too many DJs that just want the spotlight all on them. And you want your moment. Like, I'm even seeing how it's bleeding dance floors. Like, I understand, and I'm speaking, this is a kettle speaking, because I've also been in spaces too, especially when I really found my sound, where, and you know, my name started to get bigger. I'm like, yeah, it's by me. You know what I mean? And I done had a show or two, I done rocked the crowd to sleep, because it's all about me, without recognizing, like,
you said something, you rocked them right to sleep.
You rock them to sleep. Exactly. But when like I said, once I got to the space where I'm like, okay, I'm going to selflessly give myself to the game, you'll recognize, like, okay, bro, I know you got all of these crazy records that no one has ever heard that you want to play. And like I said, as a DJ, it's still very important that you break records. So you still need to put the crowd on. You don't have to be a slave to the crowd, but I'm working with the crowd.
Yeah. You also got to make sure that they
you know what
enjoy
I mean?
the
also,
show, right?
You got to sometimes, like, learn from Jay-Z. Sometimes you got to dumb it down. Sometimes I would get to spaces where I'm playing records like, this ain't even B-side. This is, if you know, you know. You know what I mean? And it was like, yeah, but that group over there, see, it's her birthday, and see that person over there, they just had a hard day at work. They don't really give a fuck.
They're waiting to hear their song.
They just they just need a moment to break free. So always having that mindset too, while also, like I said, still being that record breaker, still being the one that's like, no, I set the vibes, but hey, you know, I'm here.
But you're always reading the room, like you said. That's a powerful statement.
You know, I learned the game from old school DJs.
Yeah.
You know, not only old school DJs. When I was in college, it's a lot of DJs. Shout out to Florida's Jazzy Jeff. Shout out to DJ Black Hayes. It's a lot of DJs that I had the opportunity to hear early on, where I'm like, okay, if you're DJing in college, you're DJing for college kids. There are 9 times out of 10 from across the world, mainly across the country. So you have to hit every pocket. So when I started to hear DJs like, oh man, you just gave us a Jersey club set. You just gave me a New Orleans bounce. You just played all the down south dirty classics. Oh, now you playing New York. Okay, now we in Cali. To experience that had a huge impact on my ear. And then also studying the greats like a Jazzy Jeff, that I got that game from Jazzy Jeff, where he was like, you know, sometimes the moment is about me, and even when it's about me, I make it about the room. You know what I mean? Even when it's about me, like, of course, you know, sometimes they want to see me go crazy with my hands, and then it was Jazzy Jeff said there's other times, you know, I might get booked in Vegas and they really don't want to hear all that scratching, but I'm still there to be who I am. So getting the game from mentors, OGs, also, especially my younger days, I was out all the time. That's another thing I would really encourage a lot of young DJs to do. You got to get out the house. Yeah. Because sometimes you just don't know what'll work until you're out the house. But constantly being in different spaces, and then literally, like I said, you know, growing up with my mom and getting her musical influence, and then literally at a young age having the power of the internet. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'm 13 years old and I'm listening to Lloyd Banks just like I'm listening to Juvenile. Yeah. Which, when I'm 13... explaining that to an older cousin at the time, it was blasphemy, because once upon a time, sounds was very regional. We're not playing that up north shit in the south.
We used to bang your hat about it, like,
you know what I mean? We don't play none of that over here. Yeah. So it was like, as time progressed, and then, you know, being a millennial, it's like, oh, off top we had the power of the internet. So I'm on live mixtapes, I'm on that Piff, I'm on LimeWire, downloading whatever I want. All of those influences just pulled from those, and then just,
So you learn from everywhere you go, every place.
I'm a sponge.
No, I love that. I love that. So you talked about, influences. What were any of these DJs you mentioned? Did you have like actual mentors, coaches along the way to kind of like show you the ropes, show you the game personally, or did you just kind of learn the examples?
I didn't have like close mentors, but there were always teachers along the way that I learned so much from.
And you just sponged.
For sure. Shout out to DJ Lady Shay, one of the best female DJs in the Tampa Bay area. Lady Shay gave me the business behind this. While being so dreamy about the music and opportunities, she helped me understand the business side of things. I'm like, okay, get your taxes together. That's what that looks like. Okay, this is what that business structure looks like. Also keeping me very grounded with like, okay, I know you like these opportunities, but make sure you don't cut off the corporate gigs. Do this, do that. Shout out to my boy DJ Zay. Zay gave me a lot of game early on. And DJ Zay, he's one of the premier DJs in Tampa Bay, let alone Florida. He's done Rolling Loud. He's done festivals all over the country. So somebody like a DJ Zay giving me direct game, like, hey, make sure your crates have bangers. We play bangers.
Yeah.
So to get that from him, and especially being a DJ in these times where there's so many niche spaces and we all have our own little vibe of music, it was like, sometimes it can get like overwhelming because I'm downloading everything. Like I want to be prepared for every situation, but just to hear somebody, a vetted DJ like him, that's like, yeah, bangers, and I'm like, yeah, you're right. I'm getting bangers in all the categories. But DJ Zay, DJ Win.
Okay, yeah, shout out Win. I've been knowing Win a long time.
DJ Win was one of the first DJs to give me real game. I started in 2013. I actually ran into Win. I was working for a rental car company, cleaning cars like goddamn crazy. And this was like 2015. And I literally asked Win, I'm only 2 years in. I'm like, how long did it take you to pop? And Win told me straight up, like, it took me about 10 years. But he said what I did, it was, handle with fist. 2, also everything I did leading up to that, it made a lot of sense. So it gave me perspective because especially being in the social media era, you see a lot of people that can kind of take off instantly or what it looks like to you to be instantly. But to hear somebody that I actually have been admiring, that I actually knew from the area, be like, yeah, it took me about 8 to 10 years. Oh, okay, cool. It might not take me that long, but I know it takes time to build something great.
Yeah. Well, I think about when Win and Trans had their first platinum record. I remember Get 'Em All Get It. Right?
Get It. That's what we're talking about.
And they were already so deep in the game. I was. That's when I was doing like my thing, and I took a little vacation.
Yeah.
But before I left, like I was rubbing shoulders with anybody that was doing anything, whether it be Tampa, Clearwater. You know what I mean? And I would go around Gutter Sound. You know what I mean? I had Trans working on my mix because he had some heat back then.
Yeah.
And
that was an era.
Yeah. but like, seeing that success, you could say, that was that success was 10 years in the making.
10 years in the making.
A lot of skin in the game. A lot of paid dues.
Yes. That's what I'm saying. Like it's I know sometimes people kind of talk about how people are reluctant to give information or people don't want to mentor anybody, and some of that is a bit true, but if you truly are, and it might be Virgo shit, but I'm very observant and I learn from people's actions. I watch people in the moment, and then I also go 200% about myself. So people will look at me and it's like, I'd never mind giving you the game. Like you know what I mean? You really about what you're talking about. You really be like working at this. So I'm very fortunate that I've been very rooted in the Tampa Bay area to where there's a lot of opportunities that if I was not so rooted, I don't even know if I would have got a chance. I mean, I'm clearly a hell of a fire DJ and I'll never take anything away from myself with that. But it's been a lot of people that have seen me along the way that's like, hey, people need to know about Donnie Luv on any level. Even when it came down to doing the Rolling Loud or whether it's doing festivals, getting booked outside the state, it's always been somebody on the ground that's like, I love your energy. You're fire. I think you need to be here. And then I go there, slide that bit, and then now it's like, go to the next one. So, yeah, it's been a lot of teachers along the way.
I'm going to be real with you. I remember when we did that show at Bottomville, you had to still be Rock B. You were going by Rock B. So this had to be during that. I mean, not Rock B, my bad. I had a DJ Rock B. Don Rock, my bad. I had a DJ Rock B on here, so my bad. Shout out Rock B. But no, this is about Don Rock. So you were going by Don Rock, right?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna tell you what I said to myself, like, cause I became an instant fan. You know what I mean? That was clearly a memorable moment for me, right? Because it was about the music. I'm about the music. I'm showing every single person on that stage love, just like I'm the DJ, just like I'm the promoter. You know what I mean? Like I stuck around for the, you know what I mean? And everybody's not like that. You know what I mean? And everybody can't read the room. Some people just don't. They already ran out of fucks before they could read the room. So they don't give a fuck to read the room. You know what I'm saying? But what I saw immediately was like, this ain't no local DJ. You know what I'm saying? This ain't no local DJ. And maybe at that moment you were, but I could tell, like, no, this person right here is going places with music. Like just the end. This is universal. This ain't. You know what I mean? Like,
I've heard that in passing a few times, and it has always meant the world to me to hear it. Cause like I said, sometimes it can get pretty hard. You know what I mean? And then I live out loud. Yeah. I am who I am when you see me online and when you see me in person. I'm very raw, authentic, and sometimes it's very well received, and then other times it might not be somebody's cup of tea. You know what I mean? And then, which is cool. And then sometimes, like, it's crazy because before I even did the Rolling Loud show at Isaiah Falls, I think I probably was in like a slight mental rut. You know, it happens as a creative. You're like, am I going anywhere? Am I just running in circles? Whatever the case may be. And then I just got a call on the whim. And it's moments like that during this career that I'm like, yes, it makes it worth it. But then also, like I said, hearing that feedback in person from people, it's like, yeah, you got something. Like, I don't know what it is about you. I know what it is. Like, looking in the mirror, like, I know what it is. But at the same time, man, guys, you really put a lot of special things in me. I got to do a lot with this. I feel like it's my responsibility too.
Yes, it is. Yeah. So please, keep doing it. You know what I mean? For everybody, for you, for the world, for the universe. Because the music is the international, I mean, the you know what I mean? The universal language. And it's the universal medicine. And in crazy times like these, you know what I mean? This is what the people need. You know what I mean? Like,
I agree.
I mean, if you read the room now, the room's fucked up. So it's like, we got to figure out how can we meet people where they're at. Without, you know what I mean? Running them off before. Yeah. Does that make sense?
It makes a lot of sense. That's why, you know, even when I was bringing up the scenario of, you know, some DJs just don't give a fuck about the room and bringing up special moments that could be happening in the room. We're going through real crazy times right now, man. It's a lot of things going on. And I feel for a lot of people. I'm an empath for sure. Yes. So I feel for a lot of different spaces. So that's why even when I come out, one of my favorite DJs told me, like, man, every event is the Super Bowl for us. You know, you don't get, I'm in a room, you know, there's people, that, even though I might be at this restaurant every single week on the same day at the same time, there's people that came in here that have never even been to Tampa. They don't even know who you are. This their first time in here, it's somebody's birthday, and they just want to have a good time. Yeah. And even though we're human, so of course I can make mistakes. I have plenty of times. But you can't really afford like I don't really give a fuck. I mean, you could, but it's like you can. Like, even when I'm doing a wedding. Hey, this is a Super Bowl. Yeah. You're doing a wedding. This is a one-time deal. People spend a lot of money on this. I'm not cheap whatsoever. So it's like, yo, what can I do to make this day extra special? Like,
but that's who you are.
Yeah.
Like, for real, that's who you are. And you could never change that. I mean, I just think, like, you know, how I can relate. So the one corporate job I had to take, like, when I went away, I did time. Yeah. And I vowed to, like, never do that again. Making big changes. So I couldn't go back to what I knew to make money. But I didn't want to go to something miserable. So I started coaching fitness classes. And it took me forever to get on. Like, it took me forever. Nobody wanted to give me an opportunity. They were looking at my background. When it's just not violent, but still, you know what I mean? Like, anyway, I finally got an opportunity with like a big fitness franchise, and they would put me in these stacked classes, and I would learn from all these other coaches. I would go to every coach, whether they were great, even the worst ones, the ones they'd be like, "Don't take their class." But I'd learn something from them. Like, something. Yeah, I might learn what not to do, but I also might learn a powerful gem from somebody else that was whatever, right? But my whole point is, it didn't matter. So a lot of the coaches, there'd be like a couple people in there, and the coaches ain't even like. It's the coach is almost like the DJ. You're setting the tone, right? And I wouldn't care. I remember I taught a class with one person. I was supposed to cancel it, but he showed up. lights are gonna stay on anyway. Man, let's hop on that treadmill. Let's do this. Let's do that. And I coach it. I coach that one person like it was a Super Bowl. You know what I mean? But that's who we are, right? Yeah. Because at the end of the day, it's like you came to do something, right? Yeah. And it doesn't matter how, like the people talk about. They throw a show, right? And they expect 500 people, and only 5 show up. Right? Yeah. And instead of giving their all to those 5 that could have been doing anything else like all the other 495 people that they wanted to be there, no, they came to that show. So it's like, that's, if you read the room, then these people showed up for you.
And 2, I've always considered myself to be a DJ's DJ too. So I won't throw DJs under the bus, but I will say, I've also recognized and learned from other spaces what DJ burnout looks like.
Yeah, okay.
Which is like, okay, it kind of gives off like you truly don't give a fuck. And I think in that moment you don't, but it's clear like you kind of burnt out. And that was something else that I had to learn on the fly while DJing full time. Like, okay, cool. Sometimes you got to give it a break. Sometimes there's literally certain spaces where I may be there weekly. I might take a week or 2 off just to go home, recalibrate, reorganize the crates. I'm really big on figuring out how can I remain fresh, innovative, and still give what I give. Yeah. So it's like whenever I walk into certain situations, it's hard for me being someone that gives so many fucks about DJing. It's hard for me to not judge the moment. Yeah. But I will never make a DJ feel away. I kind of always immediately, after I judge it, I go immediately to understanding where it's like, okay, I ain't gonna give you too many passes. Because I tell a lot of DJs straight up, like, hey, man, I'm blessed to make the amount of money that we're getting to make. Yeah. I'm blessed to be able to pay my bills off of this.
Yeah, that's a beautiful thing.
It's times where I'm like, yo, you don't even know. I just did this event. You just paid my phone bill. My phone's about to be out. Especially early on when I first quit my job. You just paid my phone bill. Oh, okay, you just paid my rent. Like, I take that very serious. Right.
That's what's up, though. Because you give all the fucks.
All the fucks.
Yes. Yeah. So I want to take, because there's a question and I've been wanting to ask you this whole time and you didn't bring it up. So I just want to make sure that, am I imagining things? But didn't you start rapping before?
I did.
Yeah, you didn't say that. So tell us about that.
So like I was saying, I being a DJ allowed me to have my hands in many pots. So, started DJing in 2013. Always wrote music. I've always been writing music ever since I was like maybe 8 or 9. R&B is my favorite genre of all time. I really love spaces. I'm really like a wordsmith kind of person. I love words. Words have a lot of meaning. And I love styles of music where you can say less or more with less. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I love writing like that in general.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, before I even started like officially rapping and getting out there, I started making beats. And that is, as a music person, as a creative, that was the ultimate home space for me.
And this was prior to the Pioneer, prior to the DJ.
No, this was after.
Okay,
so like I say, really taking a lot of game from Missy Elliott and being like, okay, I'm a DJ, but I don't gotta just spin records. Like, I study music for a living. Yeah. So it was nothing for me. Like, I think when I finally locked in and said, okay, I want to go really DJ, I went and bought like an MPC, bought the Kai keyboard, bought a new MacBook. Go hard or go home.
Yeah,
and right. Literally 2018 to 2021 really buried myself in learning how to produce music. And that's what segued me into writing music and being like, okay, because my production was a bit different. You know what I mean? It was something like, I feel like I had like a form-fitting style of production. Like, I work better with knowing, okay, who's the artist, what we talking about, what's the vibe, okay, I could create from there.
Okay.
So I would start making these unorthodox beats that Jada really loved. Jada would be like, bro, send me anything you make. But then I started having ideas to some of the beats, like, okay, I want to go in and just start writing. So I started writing, rapping, singing. And I think I got to a space where I was doing a lot while still also DJing full time. And I for a second just took a step back and said, DJing is going to be the vehicle that get me into doors I've never been in before. So I wanted to just really dedicate more time, space, and energy to DJing and everything involving around the things while still figuring out, okay, this is how I'm going to do the music production thing too. Okay. So I did eventually chill out on like rapping and singing, but even to this day, I still get invites to the studio like, hey, help me out with this, help me out.
You got anything out there we can check out?
I got some music. I got to send sing some music. I got nothing new, but I gotta sing some stuff.
Please, because I'm all about the music.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie, I know what I'm doing.
And if it's new to me, it's new. I don't care if it's however old. If
it's new to you, it's damn near new to the world too. Because only a select few remember that era.
So was that about the same time you started cooking with Bottomville? You mentioned Jada. Shout out Bottomville Jada.
So I've known Jada since I was 10 years old.
Okay, that's what's up.
Yeah, I've known Jada since elementary school. So the Slug Sounds really came about. Bottomville had been a thing since Jada started rapping. And at one point in time, we were like, Jada was like really taking off with doing the rapping thing, and he was bringing all of his family around too. And he knew that I was doing the Slug music online, even though I would never tell many people. It was like one of them pages that was like, damn, this page got like 30,000 followers, but who running it?
Low-key,
you know what I mean? One of those things. And Jada was always like, bro, I love Slug. Like, can you Slug?
He didn't know it was you?
He always knew.
Oh, yeah, okay.
He never, and that's one thing, he never let me put it down. So it's crazy when the pandemic came about. I was just like sitting around with it, and then we were talking about doing Berg Day, which is our 727 day.
Yes.
And I'm like, man, at the time Jerry Nova was around. We had Bruce, we had producers, different DJs, and I'm like, yo, we might as well just form a collective, and we need to do things under an umbrella. Yeah. And of course, Bottomville had already had their own juice and things going on, but I'm like, yo, how you feel about Slug Sounds? Like, if we made it a thing. Off top, Jada was like, duh, I've always loved Slug Sounds. That make 1,000,000% sense to me. And one thing that I love about Jada, you don't fool around with good ideas with him. Because if you say an idea that's too good, it's going down now. Like, okay, cool. All we got to do is do this, get that, and then he's ready to go. But that's really how that came about. And then Jada was like, well, you know what? I'm always be Bottomville for sure, but let's just merge energies, you know? And so,
I love the way y'all cook. Like, for real, y'all. I love the way y'all cook. Like, coming from like a little bit of an older generation and trying to bridge that gap for years and working with like, you know how Tampa Bay can be, and not everybody clearly, but there's a lot of like the crabs in the bucket mentality. Yeah. You're trying to do something and everybody want to pull you down, and then you show this incredible idea and they just want to bat it down. You know what I mean? And it's rare to see people who can come together on an idea, take a vision, and like make it real. So like, I just get the whole Bottomville Studios, you know what I mean? Like,
the water different in St. Pete. That's all I got to say.
It really is.
Not to shit on nobody else, but no, one thing I can say about any of my brothers that I've had the opportunity to get very close with from St. Pete, it's like, it's just a different energy. Yeah. It's a little more close-knit. It's a little more, it can be a bit more judgy depending on where you're at, but for the most part, it's a lot of authenticity there and unity.
Yes.
So it didn't really take much for us to be like I said, when Jada heard me even mention it, even when it came down to Berg Day, it's a lot of things that I may have come up with the creative idea behind, but what the fuck is that if you don't have people around you that can actually put structure to what you're even coming up with? Because I could really, we should da-da-da-da-da, and then it was people like Bottomville Jada, or shout out to my girl Haley, who's also a part of Slug Sounds.
She was one of the co-founders of Berg Day, right? Okay,
one of the co-founders of Berg Day. It's people like her that's like, okay, cool, that sounds good. This is how we can get the grants to do it. This is what the business structure needs to look like. This is how we da-da-da-da. Ja is like, okay, bet, say less. I know this person. He's such a connector. I can get this person to do this. I know that. He already made the clothes. So that's why it's like, it really takes a team to really bring out great ideas.
Absolutely. And y'all got the most amazing team.
Yeah.
So now that we're on Berg Day, let's talk, because you're one of the founders of Berg Day, right? So John and I talked about it a little bit, but that was a while back. So let's freshen it up. This is a whole other season. You know what I mean? Like, tell them about Berg Day.
I want to say a little bit after 2013, maybe this was 2015, I was toying around with this mixtape idea called The City of Atlantis. I kind of always felt like St. Pete was a city of Atlantis. There's a lot of dope hidden talent here. And I'm like, yo, we need to drop like a community tape. We need to do such and such. But at the time, I'm only 2 years into DJing and still also very figuring out my own self. So kind of just kept that idea close to home. But as I kept thinking about the city of Atlantis, I started to think about like, yo, we need to do something for the city. Like this, even the city of Atlantis was about the city. So we started toying around with the idea of 727 Day. I know like once 727 Day really started to stick with me, and then I feel like I don't want to take credit because I think we came up with the name Berg Day as a collective, but the energy behind it was just another one of those ideas that I kind of like brought up. to the table, kind of thought like, oh, this would be really cool. And then it was people like Jada and Haley was like, oh yeah, we do need to do a 727 day. Okay, this is what that looks like. This is that. So it really came about from a mixtape idea that never happened.
Oh,
literally the city of Atlantis. I wanted to do the city of Atlantis mixtape, and then that energy was given 727 Day. So at the time as I was thinking about this mixtape, I was also thinking about 727 Day, but trying to figure out how can I merge the two. Yeah. But it was them that, like I said, brought everything together. We never did the city of Atlantis mixtape, but Berg Day came out of that.
So do you think there could potentially be an Atlantis Berg Day kind of?
At this point, yeah. No, I think it definitely, especially if you got somebody like Jada with all these bars.
Yeah,
shout out to that boy rapping his ass off. We got to. But yeah, no, I definitely think there's still room for that, and something we just got to put pen to paper with.
Absolutely, I love it. I love what y'all got going on.
Yeah.
So we've been going for a while, and I could talk to you for days, for real. But I want to make sure that you got, you know, everything out that you wanted to bring to this platform today, and ultimately give you your flowers. So you talked about some of your accolades. Any particular like accolades that really stand out that you want to share? Like anything that you're like super proud of, that whether it be like an event night or a mix or just anything that you want to just share and talk about while you got the mics and the crowd.
I'm gonna be 1,000, man. I don't even think this is an accolade. I'm just very proud that I'm still in the game after I'm coming up on 12, 13 years, man. Yeah. That is my biggest thing. Yeah. And I'm still very much relevant and in the game. Not chasing shit, literally in the game. But I think that is something that I'm extremely proud of and very grateful for.
So I love that. I love that. And you know, I see you in the game for you just get warmed up. I see that. Right? Yeah. But real quick, before I forget this, right? I want to talk about your show, and I really want to check it out. And I'm sorry I haven't checked it out yet, but it sounds amazing. So tell them about the Love Lounge.
So the Love Lounge is a YouTube DJ series that I started with a videographer by the name of Remember When, and then also Smudge Life. She came on as a creative director. But it was something I just started off. I wanted to do a radio series. Like mentioned earlier, people always tell me that they love my voice. And then I'm like, everybody was doing like the DJ radio, not really radio sets, but they was doing like creating their own little radio segments or just doing like DJ mixes. And I'm like, I just wanted to find a way just to blend my energy, my voice, along with the music I have to give. And so when it's crazy because Remember When literally came to me. She's the videographer, and she is a full-time fire videographer that was in different spaces, and she was like, I just want to do something different. And I'm like, I got this DJ idea popping up to random locations doing mixes. So it was like, of course I would love to capture that for you. And it just took off from there. But just literally putting my frequency and sound out there in the world, adding my little twang to it. But
now you have a channel up where we can check you out?
Donnie Luv everywhere. Okay. I got a YouTube channel for sure.
So Donnie Luv. So just Donnie Luv. D-O-N-N-I. Okay. DJ DONNIELUV.
Yes, sir.
Because everybody can't spell, so we just want to make, you know what I mean? And that's where we could find the Love Lounge.
Yes, that's where you can find the Love Lounge.
Donnie Luv, DJ Donnie Luv, YouTube, the Love Lounge. Make sure y'all check it out. Exactly. I know I'm behind. I need to go check it out.
Thank God nobody, snatched up the DJ Donnie Luv handle, because honestly, you can find me anywhere at DJ Donnie Luv.
I love that. I love that. And it fits well, because you show love. That's what you do. Okay, so anything else that you got? Like, I want to make sure we get your socials out. Now, this isn't going to air for a little while, but like anything that you still got cooking in the future that you want people to go and check you out, how they can find you, if anyone wants to book you, like whatever the case may be, the platform is yours.
You can find me anywhere at DJ Donnie Luv, literally anywhere. And man, just shout out to music, shout out to DJ culture. Shout out to all the homies, Bottomville. Shout out to you. Thank you for even bringing me on the pod.
Thank you for coming.
Oh, of course. And shout out to the champagne.
Absolutely. To
the music.
I love that. Any closing remarks that you want to give to the people?
Love always, family, and never give up.
I love that so much. And show them that real quick.
Love always.
Okay. And never give up. That's what's up. I appreciate you so much, Donnie Luv. It's been an honor and a pleasure.
Thank you.
I appreciate y'all checking in. Make sure y'all check out Donnie Luv. And if you have any questions, drop them in the comments, or we can revisit any questions about what Donnie Luv has cooking, about the show, start a conversation. If you haven't already done so, please make sure you hit that subscribe button, the like button, the notification button. Drop a comment. If you're listening on a streaming platform, please make sure you hit that follow button, hit that like button, notification button, download, rate us. If you're looking to promote your business, holler at me. We're looking for sponsors. And make sure you check out livestrugglelegacy.com. I got a store up. You can cop merch on deck. It's Live Struggle Legacy.
My boy on point.
With DJ Donnie Luv.
Two Friends Home
We build a
Inspection.
pyramid.
That's twofriendshomeinspection.com. Tell them the Live Struggle Legacy podcast sent you.
Live Struggle Legacy. It's a whole movement.